Good morning, everyone. This is a video, all things dealing with exit strategy, showing you how I exited the narcissistic abusive relationship and sharing with you strategies on how to exit effectively and quietly, and at the same time have some awareness before or as you exit. That being said, as everyone knows that have seen me here in the past, I exited the narcissistic abusive relationship in the beginning of 2020. But before that, I had known that there was something wrong, maybe 6, 8 months, maybe even longer before that. And prior to me Googling is the way that I found out. I just simply Googled at my wit's end one day. This is when the narcissistic rage resulted from the narcissist in the bedroom, and I actually saw the black in the eyes and everything, and just exhausted emotionally and whatnot. So I essentially sat in my driveway before I began to drive off with me and my twins. I just didn't have a clue, where am I going? This is my house. I brought this individual to my house, as well as her autistic son, and I married her. Think of the narcissist as a traveling salesman in 2022, right now, today, that comes to your door with some of you from my era. I'm 1970s baby, 51 years old. Think of a traveling salesman that comes knocking on your door at 9 o'clock a.m. in the morning here. And he has in his hand a whole set of Britannica, if I'm saying that right, encyclopedias. These were huge encyclopedias from A to Z. And anyone who had these in their house, you considered them to be well off or wealthy or had some money, because these things cost probably as much as a used car. You would make payments on them if you couldn't afford to buy them outright. My point being, how would you react if the salesman, traveling salesman, came to your door with those encyclopedias, trying to sell them off to you in 2022 with the internet, World Wide Web, Google, you name it? Point being, you would look at him like he was out of touch with life, because you don't need those physical encyclopedias anymore to source things. You can go right to Google. There's many other avenues that you don't have to have the physical encyclopedias. That's what it would look like when you become aware of the narcissist and what they do, their playbook. So I use that analogy or that example simply to make it known to you as you're exiting. This is how it would look when you have the awareness. Because when I found out, I simply Googled, sitting in that driveway, as I told you before, what makes a person not show true remorse? And as I Googled that, that was what came up. And from that day to this one, I've been diligently listening to other YouTube life coaches, survivors, etc. And I've garnered a lot of knowledge and insight. Insight is the main thing, because the knowledge can overwhelm you in the beginning. It can be a lot of moving parts that you still haven't sorted out. So staying on the topic, when I Googled what makes a person not show true remorse, this thing lit up like a Christmas tree. And by the grace of God, I was just one of the few, and there was probably a few here, survivors, that when we saw what we were dealing with on paper, we knew right away, me discovering shortly thereafter that I am an empath, and I know exactly what that means. I've studied that extensively, but no bragging rights there. It's a gift from God that I think is a protection for you. And I just thank God in His mercy delivered this information to me through Google, and I got it. I got it right away. So from that day to this one, I began to do what you call no contact. I continued to live with this person for a period of probably 2 months. I think it took that long for them to finally leave. I'll touch on that here or there. I may not talk about the whole gist of it. I may repeat it in other videos because there will be people here that won't know the story. So I'll continue to be repetitive, which I don't mind, and I hope you don't. I began to go no contact. I lived in this house with this individual for 2 months before they actually left. What I began to do the very first day, sitting in that driveway, it was in the evening, maybe 2 or 3 p.m. I don't know for sure. But me and my children, we saw that definition at the same time. We thereby went on to YouTube, and I don't know which life coach it was. I could throw some names out there. I don't know if it was Dave, Narcology Unscripted. I don't know whether it was Dr. Carmen Bryant, but she's been vital. She led me into the BetterHelp network in the forum, which I utilized, and it's great. And I would encourage anyone to go there to see just where you range at in your psychological stability or instability. And so they can give you feedback on where they think you are, whether they think you need to be, blah, blah, blah. So that being said, no contact. That very day, maybe an hour after I Googled the word, or what makes a person not show true remorse, I went on to watch a YouTube video. And when I watched that YouTube video, I gained a lot more insight of what I was actually living, because it all made sense right away. Because prior to discovering this, I'd asked her, let's go to counseling. You seem like you got a lot of depression. You're always quiet. You're withdrawn. You don't interact with us when we're doing things. You're standoffish. Just didn't understand it. And many of you will contemplate counseling. That's why I'm here, to help you understand that you don't need to waste your money and your time needlessly when you're not even dealing with depression. Many will say when you meet them, oh, I suffer with depression, I suffer with anxieties. You know how many women I've met, and this is no pot shot on women, because men, we come in with a bunch of bullshit too. So that being said, I really didn't know anything about this narcissistic personality disorder. Never heard of it in my life. And so I didn't do counseling, thank God. She always was sort of like standoffish, didn't want to do it. One day, I remember very well, this is before I had Googled and discovered what I was dealing with. This time she was gaslighting me. She was getting ready to discard me. You know, it goes in sequence. They love bomb you. They gain you. They get you around. Get you wrapped around their finger. Then they begin to devalue you, tear you down, your credibility, your self-worth, your character. Or she tried. But being quiet, she didn't really have the goods to do it. And that was my blessing as well. She was very covert. And she said one day, she said, if you really think we need to go and see somebody, she said, we can. Now, this is my belief looking back in the rearview mirror effect. I like to call it hindsight. I believe she had an intuition. They have an intuition just like we do, but their intuition is, do they know? Are they onto me? They're always in flight mode. Someone said they leave their bags packed by the door when they come into a relationship. So I believe she felt like it was going to be a matter of time, because this guy's a thinker. He has deep conversations. He asks questions to which I don't give a shit about and I don't want to answer. And he won't stop until we get some kind of answer. So if you're that kind of person and you're not getting answers, this person is not communicating back with you, very well could be dealing with a narcissist too. So after the videos, shortly thereafter, didn't go to counseling, thank God. That lingered because they throw little smoke screens of buying some more time on the shot clock, if you will. This is just to buy her more time because she needed more time to secure the new supply or massage them because they got multiple guys or girls going at the same time. So when you pull the plug or they feel like you're going to abruptly screw the plan up that they have before they can destroy you on their timetable, they panic and they begin to do all these rearranging the furniture, if you will, and they don't know where they want to put things. Using furniture as an analogy, it confuses everything because they don't plan. That's why they always fail. And when they do plan, they don't think that far ahead. They only think right in front of them. Because think about it, you got multiple things going. Your brain, you only use a small percentage of your brain. You don't have time or the capacity or the rationale to capture all of these thoughts. I have trouble keeping up with just the good things and the normal thoughts that I think. I can't imagine having all these demonic dark thoughts. But neither here nor there. I digress. I went on to, a couple hours after this, discovering this on Google, I went to her brother's house. And en route there, I already knew strategy. I just kicked into strategy mode. And that's why I'm naming this exit strategy. I don't really care about trying to help figure out what they are per se. We do need that information. That's vital in how we leave and when we leave, how we rebuild. But I'm very concerned about you getting out because unless you get clarity or get clearance away from these people, these monsters, you won't be able to rationally stay away. And if you do stay away, you'll ruminate, you'll start, the cognitive dissonance. You just think about them because they've had so much impact in your life. Depends on how long the relationship. You've had feelings for them. You'll have the love bomb still going on, and you'll be trauma bonded. A lot of these words you can research. They all are pertinent to how you leave and how you stay gone. So I knew right away with that strategy mode I was in. I watched a movie one time and I love it. Jamie Foxx, and my other actor. He was the star actor. He was a prisoner, and the name of the movie is Law Abiding Citizen. And if you know the movie, if you haven't seen it, see it. He's a tacticianer, among other things. People are dying like flies, and he's still in prison per se. You'll see it when you watch the movie. I don't want to give it away, but I began to think. I wanted her to leave, and she wouldn't. And the light came on. And I also saw the video where it say, when you go no contact, you're not to tell them that you know they're narcissists. That's important. You don't give off any wave that you're going to leave or anything. Because I wasn't in leave mode because this is my home. But I did, however, needed her to leave because I knew something wasn't right before I discovered this word. So I began to think en route to her brother's house, I'm going to share this with him. I was thinking way ahead by the grace of God. And the wheels were turning. I say, I'll tell him, and I'll tell him, I'll emphasize, listen, don't tell her. It's a sad thing, this and that. Just go under the disguise of depression. You can even say that, the guy, me, is crazy. You should get away from him. And let's just go get counseling for you so you can get over him. Da, 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 da. I said those very words in paraphrasing. I told him to use me as the problem as to why she should get away from me and get into counseling. He could say, well, he came up to the house, he was acting really weird. So, but what I actually did en route to his house, I called him and I said, I need to talk to you on speakerphone. And my children, uh, fortunately, because they dealt with some of this mind fuckery, the word salad, some things she did in my absence with my children, like sending them to bed at god awful early hours, and different things. I began to ask them after she was gone. And you can do this too after the smoke is settled. If there's kids involved, begin to ask your children, is there anything that happened when I wasn't there that you want to talk to me about? And you'll be amazed at what they come up with. So many moving parts. I'm jumping around, but I know somebody is going to gather some information from this and get something out of it. So as I get to his house, I don't tell him what I'm going to show him, but I have a video, whatever video that was, that resonated with me. I think I watched a couple, but this was the one. I was trying to think of which one I could get him to see, and it hit home without losing his attention. That cuts to the core of what his sister is and my discovery of her. And I don't know which one it was. I couldn't tell you, but point being, I settled on one of them. I pull up in his driveway and I tell my children on the way there, I say, you guys, I'm going to tell him, ask him if he can let you guys go inside and play, to gain his trust so he could be comfortable listening to this video I'm about to show him, and to give the perception that this is an adult situation. I just want you and me to sit in the car, and I have something I need to let you listen to. I didn't say listen, I have something I need you to listen to on the way there. I said I have something I want to share with you. Share with you, I think. He said, okay. He never said, what is it? So I drive up. We had formed a little bit of a friendship. I mean, I thought maybe he was a nice guy, you know, he's willing to do things for me. He was trying to get me a job at the local Department of Motor, what do you call it, DPW, Public Works. And so, to which something just wasn't right with that. I filed the application, I filled it out, but I never gave it back to him. It's just intuition, you know. And not for nothing, sometimes you don't want people giving you a leg up on things. Empaths, exactly. You really rather would do things on your own, not pride. It's just you're able-bodied, you willing to do things for yourself. Unlike the narcissist, they ride the back of everybody. So he comes out and he gets in the car. It was so quiet in the car you could hear a rat pee on cotton. I knew what I had to share with him, but he didn't know what I had to share with him. I sat down in the car that day, and he sat in the passenger seat. I pushed play. At the end of that video, I was silent. At the end of that video, his reply was, when I said, what do you think about that? He said, so what do you do? He said, what are you saying? Blank blank has that? Or blank using her first name. He said, so what are you saying? She has that? I say, I'm not saying anything. I say, they are saying, based on this behavior, this is what she is, and this is what she has. I say, I'm not saying it. I said, they're saying it on the video. And I said, based on what they're saying and the characteristic and the behavior pattern, consistently, over and over again, I went down that rabbit hole. This is what I've concluded listening to this. And he said, he looked around like, see if I can mimic him. It's like, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Really? A lot of times the family members, they don't see what you get a chance to see. You have front row seats. All they see is they mismanage a lot of things in their life, and the family members know that something's off with them. But they don't speak on it, they don't speak to it, because something deep within their core, if they aren't narcissists themselves, they know that something's not well with this individual sibling. So when I shared that information with him, and this is all pertinent to exit strategy, and I'm hoping someone can use this as they plan their exit. This is a 20-minute video at this point, so I do want to capture the moment on this, and that is when that video was shown to him, I began to live in my house for a remainder of 2 more months, and I'll reconnect with this story on my next video because I don't want to belabor it, and just come back and I'll continue. I'll start with after I spoke to her brother, what I did to continue my strategy of exiting. That being said, bless.